Hey guys, Ethan here, hanging out with Darren for the Sports Bench. We are here covering the second installment of our NBA Kyrie Irving trade scenarios. Today we're going to be covering the Central Division in the Eastern Conference, and I'm really excited about this one because there's a lot of interesting trades. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of many of the teams in the Central, but I do like the player scenarios here, especially the one we're going to talk about with Drummond and
Ooh,
Oladipo. So I'm
yeah.
excited to talk about those. So let's get down to part two.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the Bulls. And in this Bulls trade scenario, we're going to be trading Kyrie Irving and J.R. Smith for Dwayne Wade, Chris Dunn, Adam Levine, and the next year's first round pick for the Bulls. Now, if you guys remember me and Darren discussing on our last video, our first video, we talked about a couple things. Number one, it does say that the trade failed, and the reason why is because Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine can't be traded together for 2 months. So this trade can't go through until August 21st, but it is money-wise an acceptable trade, and it could go through as of August 21st. Secondly, I told you guys if I included J.R. Smith into a trade, it was because I didn't think that the other team was giving up enough stuff. And that's what I think in this scenario. They're giving up 1 year of Zach LaVine, 1 year of Dwayne Wade, and 3 years of Chris Dunn, who so far hasn't looked good at all, and a first-round pick, who will probably be worth a good amount for the first-round pick. But you're getting Kyrie Irving for 2 years, the new face of your franchise. That's worth a lot. So what do you think about this trade, Darren?
I see some lingering injuries. Uh, there's a definite banana boat connection here with the Wade back to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that scenario because they do have a lot of chemistry, and Wade is a very talented player who, when not the forefront now and his age getting on, he can be effective. So yeah, I like the trade, but it's kind of a shame with Levine and Dunn having to move again, having moved this year.
I just
Kind of
can't.
like to see them get some consistency, especially Levine. He's
Well, at
very
least,
exciting, athletic young player. So
yeah, at least they haven't played for the Bulls yet, right? Like they haven't played a single they haven't played a single minute for the Bulls, right? They just got traded in the
yeah,
offseason. So it wouldn't be like they're going to one team and then another and they're playing with them. It's they will just be going to one new team in the end. But remember, Zach LaVine is still healing from an ACL injury. He might not actually be back at the beginning of the season this year. So there's
so essentially the Bulls will be getting rid of two injury prone people.
yeah, and I mean, what the Cavs get out of this is the ability to have, and you'd have to insert Derrick Rose in the starting lineup because Chris Dunn isn't giving you anything really. I mean, we don't know whether Chris Dunn makes a huge leap in his second year or if he makes a huge leap playing alongside LeBron, which could definitely happen. But likely you'd be having Derrick Rose in your starting lineup with Dwayne Wade and LeBron and Kevin Love. I mean, that's a pretty potent offensive lineup, though, if you ask me.
I do like I do like Derrick Rose as a starter for the Cavs, though.
Here's the
I think
issue.
I think he'd be very capable.
Here's the issue. Is your point guard and shooting guard positions are two god awful 3-point shooters. Rose and Wade couldn't hit a 3-pointer to save somebody's life. They're just. I think they're both sub 30%. I mean, it's bad. So
Yeah.
that would be an issue with the team. So LeBron is obviously not the greatest 3-point shooter, but he has his on years. Love is a decent 3-point shooter, and then Thompson couldn't hit a 3-point shot ever. So
Any given time down the court, though, LeBron is your point guard. So that's also a factor.
true, it does change things a little bit, but I don't. I don't know, man. I don't like this trade at all. This is the only way I could see giving the Cavs some kind of value is the ability for LeBron to play with Dwayne again, and then likely getting a top 5 pick next year, top 7 pick, and then getting two young players who might do something next year. I mean, don't forget Zach LaVine averaged 20 points a game before he got hurt. So Zach's worth something when he comes back from that injury, as long as he's not like catastrophically injured. But
You know the other thing though about the shooting detriments that you're saying Rose brings is that LeBron gets people way more open shots than they're used to. So that could definitely be a factor in improvement in the case of Rose shooting.
It could. Now, last year he did really bad in catch and shoot situations, but then again, who knows who was passing him the ball and in what situations. He might not have actually been really open or anything like that. So, like, LeBron gets you much better shots than everyone else does in the NBA. That's just the bottom line. But
Playing for the Knicks with Carmelo Anthony.
right. Needless to say, this trade sucks for both teams. Well, I mean, the Bulls love it, but this trade sucks for freaking Cleveland. I don't like this trade at all, but it's the only way I could see making this trade fit and work. So moving on to our second trade of the Central Division, the Pistons. I got Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson headed to the Pistons for Andre Drummond. And before people start freaking out about the Drummond things, reported that the Pistons are looking to dump Drummond right now. Not totally sure why, but apparently they want to move on from Drummond. So Drummond's on the move. Avery Bradley is on the move. Now you're going to see this trade fail also because Avery Bradley can't be traded again until September 7th. So he'll be traded on September 7th for that's a pretty good amount of time away, but it's still really before like most of the training camp, stuff like that. So it's still a doable trade. But essentially what they're getting is what the Cavs are getting is they're getting a great player in Avery Bradley who could play the point, mind you, but is best off probably playing the two guard position. Really good defender, great scorer, great three-point shot. Though. Still got Rose. So you got Rose coming in at point guard and Bradley. So Rose, the dump off from Irving to Rose is pretty significant, but the upgrade from J.R. Smith to Avery Bradley could be argued as pretty significant also when you consider both ends of the court. And the upgrade from Drummond to Tristan Thompson is, in my mind, pretty massive.
Yeah, and so Ethan made a really good point about this because I was questioning any Tristan Thompson because of LeBron and Tristan Thompson. You know, when LeBron went to bat for him, you trade him, you gotta trade me. We're not getting rid of him, kind of thing. If LeBron is getting Andre Drummond in return, I think that would all go out the window. And that's kind of what Ethan was telling me. You're getting Andre Drummond, Tristan Thompson becomes, yeah, that's my boy. I hope he does well somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You get Andre Drummond for 4 years, his 4 prime years of his career. That's legit. And remember, Andre Drummond's still averaging like 14 a game or some ridiculous numbers. I'll be posting that on the side. But he's got some ridiculous... Drummond's still a phenomenal player. And I think LeBron would enjoy playing with him. In my mind, they get upgraded at 2 positions pretty substantially while taking a downgrade at the point guard position. But that doesn't preclude them from trading Shumpert and somebody else for another point guard. So
yeah, that's true.
They still have the option of making another trade. I mean, if I were them, I'd be looking at trading a first-round pick. This trade comes with more stuff. I totally blew it. It comes with the Pistons' first-round pick, Kennard, and it comes with their first-round pick next year. Of course it does. So Luke Kennard from Duke comes over, and he's really a 3-and-D player from Duke who's not like, looking to make crazy splashes. But you know what? Luke Kennard could be a great bench player for the Cavs. And then a first-round pick. I would actually parlay, again, there's that word parlay. I'd parlay Luke Kennard and maybe Shumpert and a first-round pick for a point guard. I don't know, like Ricky Rubio or somebody who makes them much better on the defensive end of the floor, as well as adding some, great playmaking ability. That team, to me, would be crazy. You're talking about Rubio. I know this, now I'm getting a little crazy, but Rubio, Bradley, LeBron, Kevin Love, and Drummond is just like a ridiculous team. It's insane.
Well, if you're going to use parlay from the last, any of this next year's pick or this year's pick kind of stuff also might be sort of irrelevant if LeBron leaves. Like, you just definitely go right back into a rebuilding stage with a bunch of unknowns.
I mean,
now,
what you would have in this scenario, though, like you said, the trade, I'm talking about having Rubio for at least 1 more year and Drummond for 3 more years. That's also planning for the future while making them better next year.
Yeah.
So that is the Pistons trade. Moving on, we have the Pacers. And the Pacers trade's a pretty interesting one, I think. Now, obviously, we know that Dan Gilbert had some pretty choice words to say about the whole Pacers situation, so they could have done better. They blew it because the Cavs were really going hard after Paul George. But let's say they make up and they can get over themselves and they can make a trade that includes Kyrie Irving. This is the pieces that I would give and I would trade up. So what we have first is Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson going to the Pacers for Victor Oladipo, Miles Turner, Corey Joseph, and the 2018 first round draft pick of the Pacers, which is still going to be a pretty good pick, I think. So what you get as the Cavs in this trade is you get Oladipo, who is a huge upgrade in defensively and offensively over J.R. Smith.
Yeah, he's a versatile player. Very versatile.
Very versatile. In his first 3 seasons with the Magic, he averaged 4 assists and 4 rebounds a game. As a shooting guard, pretty good. We know he's a top-notch defender. We know that he can actually shoot the 3. He's just an overall good player. And he had some pretty good averages last year. And then Miles Turner is an up-and-coming stud. Guys, he's an up-and-coming stud. Last season, Miles Turner, in his second season, he put up 14.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.1 blocks, almost 1 steal, right about 1 steal, shooting 51% from the floor and 35% from 3. So he's got a little 3-point touch to him, which I imagine would improve drastically with the leadership of LeBron James. So Turner's he's a growing rebounder, but you have him and Love next to each other rebounding, you're going to be fine. What he is he's another guy who can shoot inside and out. He can score inside and out like Love. They would give Love the ability to go inside more often when he wants to, because Love is a good post player. And then he's a much better defender than Tristan Thompson. Much better defender. So
well, I see this whole trade scenario as a drastic defensive upgrade for the Cavs, who had a gigantic problem with defense last year.
Absolutely.
So this is definitely a win for the Cavs. And if Kyrie wants to showcase a team, the Pacers could be a good team for him to go in and show.
I mean, he might not like it, but it's the best he's going to get in this scenario. I think that at the end of the day, the Cavs become way better on defense. They they improve at 2 positions and they downgrade at 1 position, kind of like the last trade. I do think this is, however, enough to get the trade done.
I think a lot of what Kyrie Irving wants, and there's no challenger there in Indiana. So He would go in and showcase that and pretty much get what he wants.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so that is
except for maybe a winning scenario.
I don't think he wants that. That doesn't seem like something he's interested in. Like that doesn't seem like a top priority for him, to be honest. I mean,
well, he has a ring now, so now he can go and be the man somewhere.
I guess, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for him.
Yeah. Some people chase rings. Some people want spotlight.
And that kind of seems like the direction that he's headed in. And the other trade piece they get here, not like a huge trade piece, but Corey Joseph is a pretty decent young upcoming player. He's a point guard, and I think that the Cavs would like to have him for future references. But that's neither here nor there. The next team on the list is going to be, and this is an interesting one, this is a really good one, it's going to be the Bucks. Now, really any legitimate trade scenario with the Bucks is going to pair up Kyrie Irving with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose name I can pronounce. And I mean, that would be a pretty interesting pairing because of the fact that the Greek freak is such an unselfish, high-quality passing player. But
so should I say his name to prove I can do it?
Yeah, do it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Nope. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right. Well, I'll call him the Greek freak.
The Greek freak. Okay, so here's the trade: Kyrie Irving, Iman Shumpert to the Bucks for Chris Middleton, Thon Maker, Brogdon, the Rookie of the Year last year, John Henson to make money work, and a 2018 first-round draft pick from the Bucks. So what the Cavs get from this is what I would do is I would actually just start Middleton at the 2. And Middleton is a great defender and a great shooter and scorer, and he would be phenomenal next to LeBron James. Brogdon was the Rookie of the Year because he's a great defender, and he was actually playing a lot of point guard last year and doing mighty fine at it, may I add. So you're talking about 2 huge defensive upgrades and a solid picks at the 1 and 2. And then Thon Maker is a potential superstar coming off the bench or starting if he really becomes good. He's got a 3-point shot. He's got handles. He can rebound. He can score. He can defend. Thon Maker's looking really good. And then John Henson to boot, who's going to be a great rebounder, defender off the bench. I mean, this improves the defense of the Cavs so much. And they get several young players under contract and a first-round pick.
Now, I think that the Greek Freak would be untouchable in this, but I have heard scenarios where that would be who the Cavs think Kyrie is comparable in value with, and I just don't see it.
There's no way.
No, there's no way. Like, you're talking about a potential game-changing superstar and
to a really good volume scorer.
Yeah, to a really good volume scorer. You don't make that trade.
I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade the Greek Freak for 3 Kyrie Irvings. Let's just put it that way. I mean, that's what it boils down to. The Greek Freak's too good. Now, what I also did for the Bucks is I let them keep their core intact. Of now they have Kyrie Irving, the Greek Freak, and Jabari Parker, who they also are big fans of, even though he keeps getting injured.
What about 2 Kyrie Irvings and a Monte Ellis?
Well, you threw in the Monte Ellis. I'm sold. They're pretty much the same person. But yeah, I mean, I don't want people to kind of look down on this. I mean, this trade is a good one. Middleton is a phenomenal player. I don't think people realize how good Middleton actually is. Chris Middleton is a great defender. Let me see if I can pull up some stats here. Chris Middleton, last year, he was hurt, obviously. He came back from his injury, but the year before, he averaged 18 points a game on 44% shooting from the field and 40% shooting from 3. And he averaged 4.2 assists, 3.8 rebounds, 1.7 steals, and defensively, dude was an absolute stud. Last year, he held his opponents to minus 3.2% shooting from the field, so they shot 3.2% less than they did on their normal average, and then 2 years ago, it was 2% less. So, I mean, he's a great defender. He is a borderline all-star in my opinion. And then you're getting Michael Brogdon, who obviously was Rookie of the Year, not for no reason. He was a great player last year as well. I actually love this haul for the Cavs, and I know they'd be trading within their own division, but man, would I love to see LeBron with Brogdon, Maker, and Middleton. I think that would just be a great. They would stand it in my mind. They would honestly. This would put them in contention to compete against Golden State. Just the amount of defense that they go up in this trade is substantial, and I would think that would make a difference in their campaign. And I'll give you guys some of Brogdon's rookie numbers. He averaged 45% from the field, 46 really, 40% from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and that's only on 26 minutes a game, guys. 26 minutes a game, and defensively he was an absolute monster. So that is the final trade of this one. Obviously, the last team in the Central Division is the Cavs.
I'd like to say, though, on this trade, this really doesn't give Kyrie what he wants because he's not going in there and the star of that team.
But he's the prima donna of the team. Like, the Greek Freak isn't an attention-seeking whore. Like, he's not looking for the spotlight. So the biggest star in that, not like maybe the best player, but the biggest star in that will be Kyrie Irving, and that's what he wants.
This would be like playing alongside Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, which is one of the options that he actually wants.
Yeah, because he could outshine him in terms of locker room personality, but team leadership and stuff is going to still come from that place.
Right. And this is the Central Division, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And comment below, tell us what you guys think about the trades, if they were unfair in one way or another, how much better you think they make each team, and how happy you think each team is after these trades. Share the video with your friends who love basketball and kind of get their opinion on it. Next, we're going to be knocking out the Southeast Division in the Eastern Conference, so keep an eye out for that video. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.